Hey folks, Sandy from Sandy's Guitars here, and today I'm actually doing a video. I got a really good message the other day. I'm going to have it below. I'm going to take out their name though, but I got this message on Instagram. By the way, check out Sandy's Guitars on Instagram. And what they asked was, do you have any tips? I'm trying to work on my solos, but I'm only using the pentatonic and blues scales. What other scales would be good to learn next that would add some variation to my solos? Now, I gave the fella who emailed me, I gave him a pretty in-depth explanation, and unknown to me, basically ended up writing the script for another video. So, to the person who sent me that message, thank you so much for sending that. You really kind of inspired this video, and I hope I can be helpful. Okay? Now, look. Here's the truth of it. I can give you as many tips as I like, but you have to practice. That is vital, okay? And that's the same with any YouTuber. Any YouTuber can give you tips, tricks, whatever. If you don't practice and put them into use, it's completely useless, okay? But one other quick note about this video. Yes, music theory is important, but I'm actually going to keep that music theory talk to somewhat of a minimum today. The reason is, this is specifically for people who are, wanting to do solos. Maybe they're improvising, that sort of thing. So I'm going to present how I look at the fretboard when I am improvising. Don't get me wrong, the music theory stuff is important, but I also think the vast majority of guitarists, when they're improvising, when they're playing solos, they're probably not thinking about music theory. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. Let's get into it. So first up, on your screen, you're going to see what I think most of us know as the minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to do it in A minor. Most of us have played that before, right? You're going to notice the green notes, the green dots, and red dots. The red dots are really just the root note. Okay, so it's A minor, so the root note is A. I color them green because when I'm improvising, I know that if I play any of those notes, the green ones and the red ones, it's always good to go. Okay, green, good to go. They always sound good, all right? It's like the guitarist ketchup. Really nice, really pretty. I just went out of the box, but all right. So those are the first part, all right? That comes from the pentatonic scale. Penta, think pentagram, 5 sides. Pentagram, 5 sides. So penta, 5 notes. There's your 5-note scale, all right? Next up, and these notes, they also sound pretty good. In the diagram, you're going to see they come up. I actually colored them as orange, okay? This, because I'm in the minor key, this is actually the natural minor scale. You're going to notice that I added 2 notes. One right here, and one right here. Now I colored those orange, mostly just because I like the color orange. But again, very similar to the pentatonic scale, those notes almost always just sound good. Okay? They're always safe notes to play. If I was going to do the full scale, it would look something like this. Okay? Again, these notes, as long as they're in the right key, as long as you're playing in the right key, they're always going to sound good. It's always going to sound like they belong. All right? Now, the first scale was pentatonic. Now this is the natural minor scale. Pentatonic had 5 notes. This one has 7. Keep in mind, there's only 12 notes in Western music. I say Western music, we can get that into that later. For now, there's 12 notes. All right, so sounds pretty good, right? But what if we want to make things... You have to look at solos, guitar solos, like you're building up. You're telling a story, all right? And stories need conflict in order to sound interesting, to be interesting, okay? The first note that we're going to add to throw in a little bit of tension, all right, is what's referred to as the blue note. In the diagram you're going to see on your screen, the blue note is blue. Shocking. And it's right here. And the reason it's called the blue note is because you have heard this. You have heard that in so many blues songs, it's not even funny. So literally, it's actually, in music theory speak, it's the flattened fifth. It adds just enough tension to make things a little interesting. There, I just threw one in the next pentatonic box. Right there, same thing. Flattened fifth, flattened fifth. The blue note adds just a little bit of tension and it sounds really good, particularly if the note that you play immediately after it is right close to it, okay? Or you can actually like really lean into it too, you know? Right? Adds a little bit of tension, okay? Now another note that we can use to add a little bit more tension, and it's often called actually the jazz note because particularly in a lot of musical contexts, it's used a lot in jazz music, particularly jazz blues. And what it is what's called the major seventh. So normally we would go, well, the major seventh right here. You've heard that before too, right? That note right there. Personally, I find it really sounds best when it uses what's called a leading tone, which is where it basically feeds into the tone right next to it or right before it, right? I just find it sounds great. It adds just a little bit of tension. It makes things interesting, all right? Now, in the diagram that you're going to see in front of you, the jazz note is colored purple. I don't know why I chose purple for the jazz note. For some reason, it just seems to fit. So, there's another note for you to use. So, we had 7 notes with a natural minor scale, also the major scale, okay? And we just added another 2, the blue note and the jazz note. So that means we're already at 9 notes. Now, like I said before, there's only 12. There's only 12 notes. So it means basically that there's 3 left, right? The 3 that we haven't touched yet, right here, and here. Those can actually have a similar effect as the blue note and the jazz note. And in the diagram you're going to see they're actually little black circles that are hollow. Now the reason for that is because they're what's called ghost notes. They sound good, okay, and adds a little bit of what's called chromaticism. Check out a recent short I did for more information on that. And basically, again, they add tension. They create just a little bit, they put things a little off, okay? So they sound really good when you kind of slide in and out of them. All right. And again, it's just about adding tension. It's about making things just seem a little bit off before you resolve, often to the root note. Resolved. We got tension, resolved. And resolved back to the root. Okay? So, when I'm soloing, when I'm improvising over either a backing track or if I have a full band behind me, those are the notes. That's how I view the fretboard. Okay? It lets me to visualize what I am playing in the moment. Now, it's important to note that I only covered one box, and it's typically the first box that all guitarists learn. Okay? But you can do the same thing by figuring out which notes are which and how they interact with each other with all of the pentatonic boxes. See? There, that was the major seventh, the jazz note. All right? So, that's my approach to soloing. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It's just how I've always done it. And, well, I don't know. It seems to work. All right? So maybe you look at things a little differently. I'd love to hear how you look at soloing. Maybe you do pay more attention to music theory than I do when I'm playing. Please let me know in the comments. Okay? This is Sandy's Guitars. I enjoyed doing this video. Please like and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll have links in the description, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks. Keep playing. Take care.